Yeah, so he's all kinds of messed up, and I'm like, this guy ain't gonna change from going, all right, I'm giving up. All the years the way I've been, all changed just right now.
Yeah,
Love does that, woman. It
this
does do that.
lifestyle that is clearly not letting me leave
Yeah.
very easily and keeps getting in the way of my life even
Yeah.
still.
What's going on, Reject Nation? Greg Alba here.
John Humphrey over here.
Okay, so we're gonna do a reaction to 50 Shades Freed, the 1-minute teaser trailer that they released. Before we do that, I wanted to give my thoughts on 50 Shades Darker. It is exactly 2:18 a.m. in the morning right now.
Sunday night.
You know, this trailer dropped. A lot of people are asking us to check it out, but we haven't
we
seen
haven't.
50 Shades Darker yet. Why would we do a reaction? And we can give commentary on that. We gotta see 50 Shades Darker to understand the context.
I feel like we made a semi-big deal when the first trailer came out for 50 Shades Darker, but like the second the taste dissolved, we were like, nah,
Yeah.
I don't really want to see it. Because like the first one, I went out to see that in the theaters on opening night just to see what that would be like. I was
What a
not
great
compelled to do that the
No.
second time.
You know, okay, I want to give my quick thoughts on 50 Shades Darker. I think that this one is way better than 50 Shades of Grey.
In a weird way, yeah.
I feel like the first half hour, I really felt like the director understood what the hell this movie is, you know? It's
Yeah.
a soap opera. It's like a rated R soap opera. So it's a woman's
Skinemax.
romantic novel, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's the big Hollywood
Yeah.
softcore.
I don't want to give like a whole review of 50 Shades Darker. I'm kind of just saying like I actually kind of enjoyed the movie a little bit more than I think.
Well,
I feel
'cause
like a
it's-
lot of people said it was boring, and I'm like, that's not what I felt when I was watching this movie.
It's too long, but like it is having
Yeah.
everything is a lot more on pitch to where it's enjoyable for what it is.
I think it's the kind of movie as a guy that you can enjoy if you're at home
It's
watching
wacky.
it.
Like
Yeah,
it is
if
a
you're-
wacky movie, and like it's full of moments where you're like, why haven't you sought help? Yeah, when its heart is in the right place, I guess. When it's covering the beats that you care about for this kind of
Dude,
movie.
yeah. One thing I thought about 50 Shades Darker was like, I thought I forget their Dakota Johnson and Jamie
Dornan.
Hodor. Yeah. Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan, their performances in it, when they're like talking sexy to each other, like that scene when he puts the ball stuff up her, on him, freaking YouTube, you can't say stuff on YouTube.
You know, when
Could get
they
that yellow dollar thing sign show up.
when they do the extreme underwear game.
I was like, that's one of the sexiest scenes of this entire franchise.
Yeah,
so
they
far.
have actual chemistry in the second movie,
Yeah.
and it is sexy and stuff.
Oh yeah, the
Weird way.
sex scenes are
It's
sexy.
like a sexy
and
music video.
It's aware. That's exactly. It's aware.
And the soundtrack is just somebody's sex playlist. So yeah, in a weird way, you start to see the potential as you're
Yeah.
watching it. You're like, okay, like if this was actually kind of a weird exploration, if this was like American Psycho or something like
Yeah,
that.
I feel like this could have been an
This went-
erotic, dark thriller that could feel borderline horror movie about. Because I like
If
the
it-
concept.
Yeah, if it invested as much in like the psychology of the characters as it did in the sex,
Yeah,
it could be fascinating.
It would be to do the psychology of the sex.
Yeah.
That's what I think
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
fascinating. It's more likely to get an NC-17 rating. Seeing the emotional context behind the sexuality, because I like this concept
yeah.
of this dude who's, like it's more than just he's crazy in the bedroom. It's his lifestyle. It's the way he talks with her at
Yeah.
all occasions. It like being a submissive.
Permeates.
Yeah,
Like,
it's such
he
a
needs
part
to
of him.
he's so dominant.
And this movie really seems like it just gives you every guy's fantasy that the fucked up guy will one day change with no therapeutic help whatsoever. And the whole movie's just him
Everything
going.
just goes right for these people.
The whole movie's him just going, "That's not me anymore." And he just proves that the whole movie, that's all he does. There's no conflict.
He is an emotional, sexual superhero.
Yeah,
That's his superpower.
yeah, I really the whole
is
movie
to
no
not
struggle
succumb
whatsoever.
to his sex demons,
But
whilst also dispensing righteous, sort of BDSM-ish sex.
This would be so interesting if it was like about these two people that do love each other and want to be together, but it's the things that happen in terms of sex that really tear them apart. And
Could be an interesting conversation.
It could be an interesting converation. I wanted to see
We're
a
not
movie
very
where Christian Grey is just the whole time
sexually open
he's about to break bad. He's going through a boiling point.
There's so many
this sex scene's intense. Could have felt like Basic Instinct or something, you know.
The thing is, like, watching this movie, we sat there going, like, there's so many other movies that this movie could be like the sex version of, and like your options are so wide. This could be the new Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
You could almost make it like a horror movie, like a Sex American Psycho.
I totally agree.
Or like
with
a
that.
Maniac style, like sex slasher almost.
Yeah. The thing is, the film's terrible. Yes, it's not a good film, but I find it really enjoyable.
But it's
I thought
not
it was
trying
super cheesy
to be
and
quality.
Exactly.
It's
I feel
trying
like
to just do what it does and do it right.
I feel like the first one was like, we need to try to be a good movie.
It's like a softcore, minor exploitation.
Yeah, it's like
movie.
a soap opera porn.
It's an airport
like a
exploitation.
Soft porn. Yeah. One thing I hate though is like, there's a lot of they're about to have sex, they don't have sex. Well, let's make sure we could get a shot of Dakota Johnson's tits for just 1 second. Can we get just a random insert of Jamie Dornan naked right here? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, because we can't show the sex scene because the NC-17, ready? So can we just get a shot of them naked so we can try to please the fans a little bit? Like, this movie has so much potential to be like a movie that has messages in it, a movie that can get a point across, but it doesn't ever go there. What I gotta say though is when they're having sex and like when they're dirty talking, because I feel like all of Jamie Dornan's character note he has for himself is like, he's like, if I can narrow down my character to one thing, he is always wanting to have sex. That's why when he's talking sexy,
can always solve a problem.
Yeah, that's why anytime he's talking sexy, he's fucking great. He's great at talking sexy. And then when they're talking sexy to each other, and they're like, I really believe them. I think these two actors must have slept together at least one time. Oh my gosh, they're so comfortable with each other in those. That's the last one. It's like those sex scenes weren't even sexy. Here, I thought they most were. And the music choices for all of them are so like crazy, and it's the sex is choreographed to the music. It's edited to the music. It knows what it is.
See, we just watched this, and I'll be curious to see if I remember any of it or not. Because the thing about the first movie is like I remember being kind of like, oh yeah, that was more sex maybe than I've seen in a while in a Hollywood movie, sure. But it didn't leave an impression on me. I don't remember anything about that movie. Watching this one, I was like, yeah, they bothered to make this at least like Michael Bay shiny about it. It's just like super duper sexy, and you're like, yeah, this is pretty tittillating, I gotta say.
I hated the way it ended though. I hated the way it ended.
Yeah, because it doesn't
have
a real movie ending.
It has now I see why 50 Shades Freed is coming out so close to 50 Shades Darker being released.
Yeah, because they're not gonna finish the movie. Like, they're gonna
do the milk. Yeah, that part.
They're just gonna leave it hanging.
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, everything's great. The end.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like. I think towards the last half hour, I think my comment was, this movie needs more conflict going on. Yeah. This whole movie's about them getting along.
Like,
and then like random helicopter situation to make her, I'll marry you.
This could be a chance to do something good and like use a big name to package it in, and I just don't think they're quite.
Patreon shout out of the day. What we're gonna do for Matt Beer.
Matt
Beer. Stay tuned for the end of the video. We'll give you your Patreon of the day shout out. Well, John,
nailing it, but they're fun to watch together.
Are you ready to watch the 50 Shades Freed trailer?
I solemnly vow to love you faithfully, forsaking all others.
Aw. Yay.
I promise to trust and respect you, and to keep you safe for as long as we both shall live. All that I have is now yours.
You own this?
We own this.
She's still surprised by stuff he owns.
Oh shit.
Jaws. Ooh, what?
Okay.
I see where this movie's going. Trailer drops this November. That was the trailer.
Wow. What?
That is the trailer. Hey guys,
that's a trailer. That's a teaser.
That's a definitive teaser trailer. That's not a teaser for a teaser. That's a teaser trailer, man.
That's settle for a minute.
The show they get married, creepy stalker guy from last movie comes in and breaks it. You take her in. There's gunshot. I hate that trailer. I hate it because it's what 50 Shades Darker did. They show like these gunshots. Did you even see the gunshots in the 50 Shades Darker? Remember there was like random gunshots in like 50 Shades Darker?
Yeah.
And then there's nothing in that movie. And I what I don't like when these movies do.
I think they played up the helicopter crash in that trailer.
They did.
Yeah.
This movie works best when it's just about them having sex and
like arguing back and forth about what their relationship is and why and how their past affects their now and future.
It's all this like other thriller stuff that I'm like, no, I don't really need any of this, you know? It's trying to make it more exciting than what it is.
What are your priorities right now, movie? Who are you for? You said that during the movie.
Yeah.
Like, who is this movie
Sometimes
for?
it feels like it's for like a teenage 13-year-old audience, and other times it feels like a woman in their 20s, and then other times it's like a 40-year-old woman who's married. You know, like it's trying to cover all ages of any female demographic they can get who's into sex.
Well, and like caters certain things to the dudes who will inevitably end up watching the movie too. Like it just seems like every scene is a little bit different on every level so that everybody gets something.
Yeah.
Like, here's a retro moment for the older people, and here's this.
Like all that stuff with the gunshots, I'm sure that's not going to be most of the movie. You know, I'm sure that's not what your movie's going to be. And because like the last one, the 50 Shades Darker marketing trying to make it seem like this exciting thriller and stuff. And I'm like, Kim Basinger shows up for like 3 scenes, and then Marcia Gay Harden shows up for like 3 scenes. I don't know if it's just like them setting up what happens in 50 Shades Free. 50 Shades Free is supposed to be like, this is when it all gets unleashed, you know?
I like that you said Jaws. When we were watching the second movie, I was reminded of Halloween half the time.
Yeah.
Like if this was a slasher movie, he's just like the sex Michael Myers, and this one makes it look it's sex Jaws.
I feel like there's so much more
like,
potential to focus on him repressing this side of him.
Yeah.
And she wants him to change, but he can't, but he loves her, so he's trying to change, but it's tearing him apart. Like that would just be so... It's like on an extreme level of like a rich guy who's a sadist. That would be a fascinating movie to me, like a psychological thriller. Yeah, he's like Patrick Bateman. He's gonna crack one day. And then they got all this other stuff about past
this
Dom
is like a
woman
werewolf movie. It's like, can he keep it in the box?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like,
it's just him getting along, and then like other people from his past, and then jealous dude over here. I'm like, what is all this stuff?
everybody wants to kill us, and everybody wants to have sex with us, and everybody wants to.
And the thing with this movie is it really hinges, like the way they make these movies is it really hinges on the fact that they think their audience really wants these two to make shit work.
Yeah, I want this relationship to work out.
But there's always something, like in 50 Shades Darker at one point, he's being Mr. Dom to that one woman who pulled the gun on them, and then he's oh man, he switches into rageful Dom. And he tells her, for once, will you just do as you're told, and has his assistant escort her out.
Dude, he's T-1000.
Dude, he was mean. He was so abusive in that moment. And then 3 hours later, after they, Anna shows up, it's like, okay, I guess you've changed. Like, because you said it.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know. I guess that's what they set out to say at the beginning of the movie. They're like, no rules with this. That's our rules, no rules. And we're going to just do this like regular people. That makes the lines all gray.
Well,
because you're like, who's he just switching on the whole Dom thing? Yeah, now when he swears he doesn't need this anymore.
But the movie really ends on a note of, oh, he's just changed. He changed from the beginning, and he didn't go back at all. He went back for a split second, but that had no concern for Anna when that took place, even though that was she almost got killed.
It's one long setup.
Yeah.
It's just one long
Maybe it's just one long setup for 50 Shades Free.
I really just don't want I don't know what I want from that. I don't know, because it looks just like a sex thriller, like...
It's trying to be it.
Everyone's trying to kill each other now.
It feels like a soap opera, and at times I like it. At times I like it. Honestly, I do. And Jamie Dornan, I like this portrayal of him. He's not just rich Dom douchebag. He's like, he's still cocky. He kind of reminds me of Danny Rand. He's still cocky, but he's also just trying to be a normal dude. And I like his relationship banter he has with her. Like I believe them in those moments when when they're connected in those moments. I believe it when they're having a good time, when they're talking dirty, they're fooling around. All those moments, I really do believe it.
It's weird. It's like this is one of the rare movies that's better when the stakes are lower.
Because all this other stuff is just distracting from from the interesting stuff.
Unless
Yeah.
you're gonna explore it, I don't care about the weird, gritty thriller happening in the background
Yeah.
where like ex subs are jealous and want to kill her, but then also ex dom is also jealous, wants to
Because
kill.
50 Shades Darker really marketed that. And this
Yeah.
is marketed that. I'm like, I won't be fooled again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because this makes it look like that's the movie. Like
Yeah.
all that is like now it's boiled
Yeah.
over. And
Oh, you thought it ended on a good note for these two. They're going to have a
everything
messed up
is
honeymoon.
messed up. Watch us destroy their happily ever
Yeah.
after, piece by piece.
I'm not the audience member that really wants these guys to work out. I just keep going. I just keep thinking to myself, this guy watched his mom die of a drug overdose, and now he's all kinds of messed up after being sexually abused by Kim Basinger, the actress, not the character. After he's sexually abused by Kim Basinger.
Wait, I thought he watched her almost die.
No, the mom overdosed.
Oh, shoot.
Were you not paying attention to the
I thought
gripping
Marcia Day
writing?
Harden was his mom.
Yeah, she adopted him.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right, gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Wow, you would fail the schmo.
I
down
was
at this
making
moment,
dinner at the
Sean.
beginning.
Yeah, so he's all kinds of messed up, and I'm like, this guy ain't gonna change from going, all right, I'm giving up all the years the way I've been, all change just right now.
Yeah,
love does that, woman. It does
This
do
lifestyle that is clearly not letting me leave
Yeah.
very easily and keeps getting in the way of my life even
that.
still.
Yeah, clearly needs therapeutic treatment. Also, Anna needs therapy because she needs to figure out why she's so drawn to this guy. You know, this
Yeah.
dude who's like emotionally repressed and clearly needs help and gets like rageful, and then she attracts other stalker dude who she works under, and it's
Yeah.
like this woman has a pattern of attracting men with violent sexual tendencies towards her. She needs to get therapeutic help to find out what's up with Anna's past of why she is the way she is. This movie has so much
That's
potential.
the thing is you never get enough of Anna's life on her own to know who she is,
Yeah.
really. You see what happens at her work, which is good. You know, you see one facet and what she does with Christian. And the rest of the time, like, I don't know anything about you. Yeah, it could be anything. Like, that's weird. I feel like you could do a whole other movie, which they probably will do at some point.
Yeah.
Like they do, where they rewrite it from Edward's point of view or something, where it's like, here's everything that happened just in her personal life.
I've said to myself, I think I said to you at one point when we were watching the movie, like Christian Grey would be way more interesting if he was like like a criminal in some way, not like for sexual stuff, but like a criminal, like he does some illegal, like he's rich through doing illegal stuff. You know?
Yeah, if he was some kind of like white collar criminal.
Yeah, it's like no, he's just a rich dude with a sex fetish, you know? Like,
Yeah.
that's all it is.
This dude just goes hard at
Yeah.
everything he's into. Doing nebulous business deals and whipping chicks.
This is the point of why we talk so long about this is because we see where it could all go. And I feel like when people watch like 50 Shades Darker, especially after like hearing all those reviews way back when, people primarily talk about boredom and all these things. And I rarely hear someone mention like, here's where the potential it has to go. It would be a dream project of mine to
we're gonna-
remake 50 Shades.
If they're gonna spend money to do it anyway, it might as well be as
Yeah.
good as it could possibly be.
I think, like, a problem with a lot of book adaptations, especially for books like this, is writers get very afraid to change the source material.
Gotta do justice to your audience, man.
One of my favorite segments on Cinefix is they do, like, what's the difference between books and a movie, like The Crow or Jurassic Park, and you see the differences, and you're like, wow, the writers really changed a lot of the book, but because it makes the movie better in what they're going for.
Well, and it
you know?
makes it fit more of a movie
Yeah.
structure, you know, because the format is totally different.
And the problem with I can feel it with, I can just feel it with this movie. Like, it's very obvious. You were like, let's take this scene, trim out this dialogue here. That's all it was doing the whole time.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they had the room to just, like, be bold and change it, man, Kubrick this shit. Like, do your Shining with 50 Shades. You can make it like a horror thriller, like a sexual erotic thriller, like a good Michael Douglas, Basic Instinct, Fatal Attraction. Except we're in a feminist stage now, so we got to make the woman the protagonist who's in danger, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, this movie is in some ways like a weird ultimate fantasy that just has a violent subplot
Yeah.
that just won't stop, you know, for some reason.
Anna and Christian, both of you guys, I really hope you guys get therapy one day.
Get
Because if you guys are going to need couples counseling, because
Yeah.
this is a
At
very
least,
temporary. You guys are rushing. This
You
is
can make it work.
This is a
maybe.
movie that's depending on
you
me
want to.
going, I have to root for this unhealthy couple to get together. Because it's not about watching a cat and mouse game between the two.
Yeah.
It's about them just, we're moving in now. We're getting married now, you know?
Well, yeah, because that's what it's about
We're
now.
making
It's clear.
everything
It's like,
work, you know?
We're not flirting with our boundaries and, like, you know, having
Yeah.
sex and stuff. Now it's like we're committing to each other to spend quality time.
It's all okay. All right, so Matt Beer. The reason we wanted to give you a shout out for 50 Shades Freed
50 Shades
is
Beer.
because every single time I was watching Christian and Dakota Johnson go at it, I kept imagining that it was not Jamie Dornan, it was you, Matt Beer. It was you. I think that would be so much hotter if you were the new Christian Grey. I've seen your face on Google Hangouts, and I know you're like, what, you're like 5'5" or something. He's like one of the smaller
5'6"?
guys, right? Yeah. And I just think that's so much sexier.
We measured once.
And so I would love it if you could audition to be at least in like a stage adaptation of 50 Shades of Grey. 'Cause I think you'd be the perfect choice.
What I hope for this channel is that one day in our merch store, either I guess on Spreadshirt designed by humans, would be to have special glasses that have Matt Beer's face in them, so that when you watch this movie, it'll sync up with Christian's, and you can just see it that way in real 3D.
We love you, Matt Beer.
We love you, Matt.
Keep drinking. It's the best thing you can do for you. Anyway, guys, what do you think of the 50 Shades Free trailer? You excited for the 50 Shades Free trailer?
Yeah, are you into this? Are you feeling
The
steamy?
teaser for the trailer, I
Are
mean.
you titillated?
You can subscribe to The Real Rejects. You can click that notification bell. John Humphrey on Twitter and Instagram. Social media manager of The Real Rejects.
So we're both the
Patreon.com. Real Rejects. Become a Patron Reject today. Take care, people. Buy a shirt if you want a shirt.